Welcome, welcome, welcome to Business Strategies and Tips with Lady L. I am your host, Lady L, on this thankful Thursday. Yoo-hoo! I am getting a little bit better day by day with these platforms. I'm going to get my rhythm. When the rhythm comes in, it's going to be fire. Well, I'm not going to delay the time or the hour. I am going to have the distinct honor of introducing our guest for today. Our guest for today on the Business Strategies and Tips with Lady L show is King DB, also known as the Velvet Voice. He is the CEO and founder of Major Alliances and a crypto godfather of the Magnet Exchange Group. A introduction of this awesome man of God. A military serviceman, a servant shepherd, and a servant leader extraordinaire. A mentor, a personal development coach, a motivator, a teacher, a friend. King DB, the Velvet Voice, and he is often known to be saying to the communities that he serves, service is the rent we pay to live this thing we call life. I present to you King Donald B., the Velvet Voice and Servant Shepherd.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
You
Awesome.
can.
I got it. Go ahead. I'm
Are
sorry.
you able to? Are you able to open your video for us so you can
Yes,
see
I
that
am.
handsome face? Awesome. Welcome,
Yes, I'm
welcome, King.
here.
I'm so excited. I'm so
It's a
glad you
pleasure
are
to
here
be
with me
here.
today. Oh my goodness. My
Thank
mission
you.
for this show was to bring the kings, and I'll be bringing on the queens later on in this month as well, of the
All
Magnet
right.
Exchange Group, because
Awesome.
they have been my sponsors. So I figured, let me introduce my sponsors. Everybody's been hearing about Magnetic Exchange Group, Magnet Exchange Group. Well,
Yep.
let me introduce each and every one of them to you. The Magnet Exchange Group is a book club and social club of like-minded individuals with a powerful magnetic attraction that develops healthy relationships, personal development, sharing wisdom and experiences in building generational wealth, the development of generational wealth, and wealth preservation. With that being said, I'm introducing today one of the kings of the Magnet Exchange Group, CEO and founder of Alliances.
It's a pleasure to
You can
be
see
here.
scrolling on the screen. Awesome, awesome. Let's get right into it. Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh. DB, please tell us and share
hmm
with us, how did you come to develop Major Alliances? What was the vision? What was the drive that made you turn Major Alliances into a legal business entity?
Sure thing. Well, first and foremost, it's a pleasure and honor to be here on your platform, Lady L. It's so exciting to work with you. I've had the privilege and the pleasure to work alongside you now for the last couple of years, and you are nothing but top class. And no, ladies and gentlemen, they did not pay me to say all these wonderful things about her. I can tell you that she is truly a woman of high class, high integrity, and it's exciting to be here. So, the question you asked me, how did Major Alliances begin? Well, to be honest, it's actually a twofold vision. So I'll share a little bit about that with you.
Awesome.
So many, many moons ago, over 10, 15 years ago, when I got started into the direct sales space, I was really intrigued by how everyone can come together to work towards a common purpose, right? And that common
Yes.
purpose was entrepreneurship, to be able to make money outside the traditional rat race and to make money where you could actually move products and services, things that you're already using, things that you like, things that you're accustomed to. And you're like, you know what, man, this would be great to be able to kind of get paid for sharing these things. And
Absolutely.
so, but unfortunately, like, many of us, and I'm sure many of our listening audience can relate to, you have companies that come and companies that go. And I wanted to create a place, a platform where we can form major alliances with other entrepreneurs to come together to create a network of individuals so that, let's say, for example, I know someone that is a great accountant. I'm like, well, instead of going outside, how about come on the inside? And so we
Yes.
wanted to constantly be able to promote different services of people where they can share like minded ideas and be able to do so. And then I've had the privilege of meeting who Mr. Craig B. I'm sure there'll be a guest on your show sometime very soon. And, he and I have had a great, great relationship, an instant brotherhood from the beginning. And here's something that your audience may or may not know, because I know some of the Magnet Exchange also plugs into these particular sessions as well. And what's interesting is this, Magnet Exchange, if you actually break down the word magnet, it's Major Alliances Global Network. All right. So
You gotta love it. You gotta. That's that magnetic attraction
that's
I've
the
been telling.
magnet attraction. So what
Yes, it's
happened
real,
was
folks. It's real.
this gentleman that I partnered with was the individual that was responsible to help us to position ourselves in over 150 countries around the world. And so he brought the global network. For my mindset was to bring the major alliances, to bring all of us, to bring the resources and the people together so we can create this amazing community that we're all a part of called the Magnet Exchange Group. So that's
Yes.
what started the legal entity. So years before I connected with my brother Craig, we already wanted to kind of do something like that. He helped me open up a whole nother door. So I have to give a salute to him because now I was doing it way beyond the confines of New York where I reside. I was able to do this now on a global scale.
Awesome. That's exciting. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So tell us, there are so many aspects to the financial world that we are
Mm-hmm.
seeing. We're seeing transitions, we're seeing changes.
Oh,
The
oh yeah.
pandemic has been a blessing to some and a curse to others, but
Yes,
we
unfortunately,
are
yes.
here to turn those negatives into positives, to turn them into the
Absolutely.
blessings that we know that it has become and that it is
Mm-hmm.
becoming, because it is ever evolving. We're listening to or we're watching different medias and they're sharing different things that's going on in the financial community, and we know that there's a lot of information out there. So everybody's, when sometimes when you get too much information, you do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're
Absolutely.
coming together as a community and as a platform to weed out all of the riffraff, so to speak, and
Mm-hmm.
bringing clear, concise information, accurate information, information that people can use, information that people can make quality decisions and choices on.
Absolutely.
So, with that
Absolutely.
being said, my King DB, tell us
Mm-hmm.
some of the three, give us like maybe some three areas that we need to focus on in the way of wealth development and wealth preservation. What areas would you recommend to what people would say, or back in the day, the common folk,
Right. Okay.
so that they are prepared, that they're equipped, that no matter what is coming down the pipe in our financial world, we can hold firm, we can hold steady, and make quality, sound choices and decisions. What would you recommend we focus
Wow.
or look
Well,
at?
wow. That's a very loaded question. So I'm going to
I
do my
know.
best to give your audience some practical things that they can apply, but also some food for thought or perspective. Right. You really said something that I think that is so important. A lot of people suffer from what we call analysis paralysis. Right. They have so much information. We live in the world that we have tons of information, but very little wisdom.
Yes.
Okay. There's so much information going on out there. So it's like, how do we weed out? How do we figure out those things? And that's one of the things that I appreciate about our community in particular.
Yes.
So there are three things that I think that we focus on, and then I'll kind of give your audience three things that they could consider. So number one, we educate. The
Yes.
purpose of is to give you correct information. Like most people think that, oh, knowledge is power. The truth of the matter is knowledge is not power, because there's plenty of knowledge that we get in the world that actually has zero quality, right? Think about the times that
Yes.
we've maybe been given directions to go somewhere and those directions were false, right? You just someone told you to go right when you were supposed to go left, right? Or vice versa. So knowledge by itself is not power. Then they'll say, well, okay, well, correct knowledge is power. Well, no, that's not necessarily true because there's resources and libraries and Google and individuals that have a whole bunch of correct knowledge. But if that knowledge is not applied, there's no power behind it. So the
Not a
true thing for
bit.
power is correct knowledge when applied is power, or correct knowledge when applied is wisdom. Because now you're
Yes.
able to use the wisdom, and as you know, the good book teaches us that wisdom is the principal thing. This is the thing that you want to be
Absolutely.
able to have so that you can move forward in life. So the first thing is to educate yourself. You want to get around individuals that are not appealing to your emotions, but appealing to your intellect. Okay.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
you want to be able to put on the thinking cap. You want to be able to say, does this make sense? Right? Because a lot of
come
times what
on.
tends to happen is that a lot of
Yes.
times people don't understand that that doesn't make sense. And then unfortunately, you're going to also have to choose to kind of empty your cup when you get information because a lot of times
Yes.
you have to, in order to get the truth, you have to confront the lie. So the
Yeah.
first thing you got to figure out is what lies have I been told? Let me give you a quick example for your audience to really kind of put it in perspective, right? We were told as kids that Santa Claus was coming in our homes and going to give us all these wonderful gifts, right? But Lady L, that was you. That was you putting stuff under the tree. That was you that sent me
Come
to bed
on.
early. That was you that said, hey, you know what, whatever, right? But when we got older, what do? We embraced the lie. We continued the lie, but all along, it's a
Yes.
lie. You see? So, in order to be able to get past a certain point, you have to confront the lie with the truth, and all truth will
Yes.
set you free, right? So, the
Yes, it
first thing is
will.
to educate. The second thing is to empower. You have to empower yourself with the tools and the resources and the individuals that will help you to get to your
Yes.
next. So
Yes.
many times when we look at our lives, our lives are composed of our choices. So we have to make intelligent choices. Now, obviously, we cannot change yesterday, right? We can't guarantee tomorrow, but we can make appropriate decisions today, right? So you want to
Yes.
empower yourself with the right kind of tools, the resources that can help you towards achieving those kind of goals. And then third, you want to encourage. But the first person you're going to need to encourage is yourself, right? Before you can lead others, you have to lead yourself. Am I doing the things that I am being taught? Am I applying this wisdom? Am I actually taking the time out to apply the things that I'm learning? Because you know
Yes.
what? In this world that we are seeing, sis, that you just mentioned about how it's constantly evolving and we're moving to this whole different paradigm, which you and I could spend hours talking about that subject
Yes. Oh my
alone.
gosh.
But when we
Mm-hmm.
see the world is shifting, we have to say and make some sound practical decisions. So
Yes.
educate, empower, and encourage. You got to encourage yourself. You got to encourage others. You got to be patient with people because remember, a
Yes.
lot of people have been sold lies. It's
Mm-hmm.
easy to lie to people, Lady L. It's hard to
Yeah.
convince people they've been lied to.
Tell me about
Okay,
it. Oh my
so
gosh.
so let's go now and let's give them some things to put in perspective. Number one, with knowing where everything is going economically right now, the thing that I would encourage individuals to do their due diligence, obviously we can't give financial advice, right? But
Yes.
is do your due diligence on precious metals. Do your due diligence on things like gold and silver. Why? Because these are tangible assets that have stood the test of time. Now, for all my faith believers in listening in on this, chat that we're having, right? That's the Most High's money. That's the
Yep.
Father's money, right? That's not something that
Mm-hmm.
somebody created. This was what was originally going out there. I mean, I think I read somewhere, wasn't Messiah betrayed with silver? I mean, just food for thought, right? so,
Mm,
so when you
30
think about that,
pieces.
right? 30 pieces, right? You knew the exact amount too. How do I think about that, right? So, but if you think about it, that's what was true wealth. It was always what was preserved from the earth. It's what came from
Yes.
when he created earth. So that's real money.
Yes.
That's tangible. And no matter what, it is recognized all over the world. You do not have to explain gold to anyone,
Nope.
right? So you want to be able to do that. And here's a tip: you don't have to buy a gold bullion. Get it down to grams, get it down to ounces, whatever you can reasonably afford, and you can start hedging against inflation. Number two,
Yes.
you want to get involved in the digital gold space, which is the cryptocurrency space. You want to position yourself to learn about that. Do not believe the lies. You have to understand whoever controls the money controls the people. So,
Yes.
if you have a decentralized platform like Bitcoin and how it was created in 2008, we can speculate who Satoshi Nakamoto was and all those wonderful things, but the reality is this: it was for the people, by the people, where it is actually how it was back in the day. If I had a tree farm and you had tree farm, if I
Oh,
had an
come on.
apple farm and you had an orange farm, what do? We exchanged those assets. We said that this
Yes, we
bushel is
did.
the equivalent to this bushel, and we didn't
Yes, we
need a
did.
third party involved in the process. Well, ladies and
Yes, we
gentlemen, that's
did.
Bitcoin. Bitcoin is
Mm-hmm.
eliminating the middleman so that nobody has to go out there and get involved in transactions between you and somebody else, because we can't trust the governments. We can't trust, unfortunately, a lot of these political officials. We can't trust the financial institutions because look, the greatest crimes in the world today are happening with paper money. Okay, so
Yes, it
you want to be
is.
able to hedge against those kind of things. Now, do your due diligence, do your research,
Yes.
learn. Do these things have real case value, right? I mean, you and I can create a token right now. We can call it the Restream token. Now, Restream, I'm not saying that
Mm-hmm.
you should go out there and create your own token. I'm just simply saying that's how easy it is to create a token.
Yes.
That's why there's thousands of them out there. So make sure you really find out, does it have real use case value, and does it have something that could actually give some value for the marketplace? Because the only way
Yes.
something is valuable is if it has value between two individuals to be able to exchange as a currency or a medium. And then
Yes.
the third thing that you're going to want to consider outside of, you know, uh, getting into the gold and silver space or getting into the cryptocurrency space,
Tangible.
you also
Mm-hmm.
want to have multiple streams of income. Okay, you cannot put all your eggs in one basket. That's not new information that you're all hearing today. That's something that we've all been told a long time ago. But you want
Yes.
multiple streams of income, and you want your money to work harder than you. If you're
Yes.
working hard for the money, but your money is hardly working, you're doing it backwards. Too many
Amen.
people work hard for the money, but their money is hardly working. So make your money work harder than you so that you can start to create a passive streams of income that will eventually, ultimately, get rid of your current, 9 to 5 situation so that you can now go to bed when you're tired, wake up when you're finished sleeping, and live life on your own terms. So that would be the things that I
Yes.
would share with our listening audience today.
Ooh. Awesome. Awesome. Now, we have the pleasure of listening to this gentleman every week, every day on the manetexchangegroup.com, on our Zoom calls 924-039-3360, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You've got to tune in. You've got to watch.
Absolutely.
He hosts our Wisdom Wealth Wednesdays. So
Yes.
we get the education, we get the empowerment, we get the encouragement, we get the information. He told us that we need to do our research. Please, ma'am, please, sir, do your due diligence. I know there's a saying out there that after we graduate high school, we don't pick up another book. Well, we have no excuse now. There are still books
That's
out there.
true.
They're on Audible.
Yes.
Use this phone. Our king, Mr. Trillions, asked us, how powerful is your
Yes.
phone? Are you
Yes.
using it for foolishness or are you
Mm,
using it for financial wealth development? I'll put a
absolutely.
pause on that.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yes, Drop the mic. It's
Yes,
like we're
yes,
not financial advisors. I'm putting this disclaimer out there. We're not financial
absolutely.
advisors. We don't give financial advice, but we do give information for you to do
100%.
your due diligence, your research. We have access to resources that will help you make sure that you are on solid platforms that give accurate information so that you know how to get into the tangible space, the digital space, and how to develop multiple streams of income. You can confer with magnetexchangegroup.com
Yes.
and go onto the website, and you can see the different values that we bring to the community, which leads me to this question there, or
Sure.
really this um, position I want to pose to you, DB.
Sure.
There is a platform
Mm-hmm.
that has a very growing value
Mm-hmm.
for community
Yes.
that RDB has is the ambassador. I call him the funds ambassador. So we want to have you share just a little bit about the funds platform. Tell us what it
Sure.
is. Tell us what it can do for our communities, especially for areas of fundraising,
Mm-hmm.
for our tax exempt organizations, for
Sure.
personal.
Mm-hmm.
Just share us about, just give us some foundational basis
Sure.
on the platform called Funds.
Absolutely. So, to keep it simple for our listening audience, and obviously for the sake of time, Funds is a crowdfunding decentralized platform that is focused on helping individuals as well as organizations generate recurring sustainable income. Now, when we talk about recurring sustainable income, simply we mean residual income, ongoing income, right? Now, crowdfunding is not new. You see, Lady L, crowdfunding is something that people have been doing for a long time. See, what is crowdfunding? It's where a crowd of people come together to fund a particular cause, right? We do this at our
Mm-hmm.
churches, we do this in our charities, we do this in our organizations. A crowd of people will come together and say, you know what, today we're going to donate blood for a good cause. A crowd of people will come together and say,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to contribute some funds and help, help raise up a home for somebody to be able to live in a home. So crowdfunding is not new. We affectionately know it as donating, right?
Yeah,
Donating towards a good cause.
exactly.
It's now what's interesting is most times when we think about it, it's always in the sense of philanthropic sense. Like it's always about philanthropy. It's always about, doing something that really brings another level of kindness to humanity. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
In the times of economic uncertainty in the world that we live in today, where gas prices are all-time high, food prices are at an all-time high, people are living in mountain debt. I love how you expressed it because I agree with that sentiment of the pandemic. Okay,
Yep.
since then, and leading economists believe that we haven't even scratched the surface of what's to come. As a matter of fact, it just got recognized. I have to give a shout out to one of our other kings, King Will. He let us know yesterday that they just officially announced that we are now in a recession. When really, if you really understand the financial world, we've been in a recession for a little while now. We are now entering what's called a depression. And I want you to picture 2008, the housing crash and the 1929 stock market crash happening at the same time, and not just here in the US but all over the world. Okay, so what does it
Yes.
mean that people need to raise funds, whether it's for personal use or philanthropic use? And that's what funds helps you to do. It helps you to raise funds for whatever your cause may be. And here's the cool
Mm-hmm.
thing about it: while you're raising funds for your personal cause, you're also contributing towards the funds of everyone else's cause in this like minded community. That's the power.
That's
It
what's
really is about
exciting.
bringing the
Yes.
fun back in fundraising. Let me give you a quick example.
Ah,
Imagine,
yes.
imagine if you had, let's say, a church, okay? And you have a church, and obviously, their mission is to spread the gospel, spread the mission, spread the ministry of love all over the world, right? So
Yes.
imagine you got a church, let's just say 100 members, okay? And now all of those 100 members are all in for their own personal reasons, but at the same time they're connected to the church. So the church gets all these different contributions that are made by the members, but at the same time, the members are earning their own rewards on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, that's generating funds for them. So now They're not just giving money and saying, church, we just want to be a blessing. Now the church is getting the blessing, the members are getting a blessing, and everyone's getting paid at the exact same time. That is the
Yes.
power of what funds, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, has to offer. It is something for
Yes.
everyone, regardless of your background, regardless of your location. I mean, it's an excellent way to hedge against what we're seeing in the world today, but it's also a really powerful way and a fun way for churches, for charities, and organizations to raise funds for whatever their
Yes.
cause may be.
I'm excited about funds because I look at it as the Joseph plan, where
Yes,
right now
yes,
we are in that
excellent, excellent. I
space
like that.
of
Yes,
7 years of plenty. This is
yes,
the wealth transfer of the
100%
scripture, the wealth of the wicked laid up for the just.
for the
This
righteous.
is that
Yes, hmm
season. This
yes.
is that season right now.
I
That's
totally
why
agree with
doing
you.
that's why doing your research and your due diligence is so critically important right now, because in
Absolutely.
that 7 year span of time, Joseph was given a plan by God to give to Pharaoh as to how to sustain themselves,
During that
storing
time.
grain, storing different
Hmm
resources,
hmm
so that because they didn't just store grain, they stored
No, they
gold
didn't.
too.
They sure did.
They stored the resources that God has given to man, so that
Hmm
when the 7 years of famine comes, we don't know how long all of this transition of the financial world is going to take place, but
hmm
now is the time, ma'am and sir, to pre- prepare your portfolios, your financial portfolios, to make
Absolutely.
sure that you can sustain yourself when the times get leaner than what they are now.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm excited about funds. It gives all of us an opportunity to level our own playing fields so
Yep.
that we are able to sustain our families. We're able to develop generational wealth and wealth preservation. So I'm excited
Absolutely.
about funds. I really
If,
am. I'm
if,
reaching
if
out
I
to
may,
people, and I'm
hmm
just excited about it.
if I
Awesome
may,
platform.
I just want to piggyback on one thing you said. And you talked about the 7 years of prosperity before the 7 years of famine. Here's the thing that we should all ask ourselves: what year are we in? You see, we don't know if we're at the beginning of the 7 years of prosperity or at the end of the 7 years. If I had to speculate, if I had to guess, we are definitely we're at the latter end of
Yes,
that.
we are.
And for
Yes,
our
we
listening
are.
audience, if you ever get a chance, if you don't think we're telling you something, that we look at what's called the World Economic Forum and look up what's called Agenda 2030. They call this the Great Reset. And this is where we're not talking just here in the US, where myself and Lady
Globally.
L reside. We're talking all over the world. Is going to
Globally.
be the most incredible reset. And the middle class is going to be wiped out. As a matter of fact, one of their slogans, Lady L, is "You will own nothing and be happy." Now, I don't know about you. That just doesn't sit right with me, that I would not
Me
own
neither.
anything and still
And
be
I'm gonna be
happy.
happy about. In other words, I'm gonna be happy with no responsibilities,
Right, because what
because
that means is going to be so crazy that you can't afford nothing, that you will be happy because you're going to become a dependent of the government. Food for thought. So
Sila.
what you're saying about that, about funds and everything, it's not, listen, earning money, making money, we talked about that, multiple streams of income. This is not even about that. This is about empowering our
Yes.
families to
Yes.
have a place to start hedging against what's coming.
Yes.
It's no longer a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Remember,
When.
just last year, just 8 months ago, they said that inflation was transitory. They said that it was only going to be a short space of time. Well, guess what? It is still here, and it's the highest that it's ever been since 1994. Let that marinate.
We're having some Sila moments here. Pause and think about it, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to educate. We are here to empower. And we're also here to encourage. It's not to be fearful, it's to be informed. It's to be preparatory in your actions, your choices, and your decisions. I'm the queen of delayed gratification because I understand for what I put aside to enjoy right now, to enjoy later on down the road with my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, and however long that God and I deem together to be on this planet, where you can live a comfortable lifestyle with your family, with your community, being able to serve your community well, because now you are a resource of abundance, a resource of overflow. But if you're in famine yourself, if you're not in a position to be able to sustain yourself and your family, how can we, especially the body of Christ, the body of believers of God, be able to...
Forgive me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
My just left. I'm not sure what happened.
I can hear you. Well, we know what that is. You know.
Technology.
We yes. But we okay. I'm gonna put that elephant out the room too.
Off and come back?
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Come off and come back? I can't hear you either.
Oh, you can't hear me. I can hear you, but you can't hear me.
I'm gonna come
you
out
can
and
go.
come
You
back
can.
in.
You can go in and go out and come back in. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned into Business Strategies and Tips with Lady L. I am your host, Lady L. My guest for today is Donald B.
Yes,
Donald
yes.
Bernard of
I am back.
CEO.
Yes, yes.
CEO and founder of Major Alliances and Funds Ambassador. I'm here to tell you, we're giving you the y'all. Some of you that have been following me, y'all know one of my sayings. We are giving sauce for your ribs today, people. We want you.
That.
We need you to be educated, empowered, and encouraged. I don't want it to be said, Lady L, you knew about how we could hedge ourselves and financially position ourselves, and you didn't tell anybody. I do not want that to be said. I want you to know we're not conspiracy theorists. We're not into any of that. We take documentation that beats conversation every day. We give it to you to analyze and research for yourself. Just like the Word of God, we have our leaders in place, our apostles, our prophets, our evangelists, our pastors, our teachers, to inform us, to educate us, but we still have a responsibility to know the Word of God for ourselves, to study the Word of God for ourselves, to have a personal, intimate relationship with God for ourselves. All we're asking you to do is have the same mindset about how to hedge and protect your families financially. That's why we're here. That's our mission. And I dare say that we have accomplished that. So with that being said, my dear King DB, if there was one tip or business strategy that you would give our audience on today, and it could be a little bit compounded, but one unit connected, what would you leave with our audience today for a business strategy or tip that they can apply to their lives right today?
Okay. Well, first, can you hear me okay?
Because you see, loud and clear.
You know when you're doing something good, that's when things happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, all right. Application is the evidence of learning. It's like soap. It only works if you use it. Application is everything. So, information without application leads to dislocation, which leads to your annihilation. Information without application leads to your dislocation, which ultimately leads to your annihilation. The most important thing that you can do is apply what you've learned.
Yes.
Right? The more you apply it, the more it will compound in your life.
Yes.
If you are learning how to eat healthier, and I'm speaking to myself right now.
Yes.
If you learn how to eat healthier and make better choices and do that on a repeated basis, those residual effects will compound into a healthier lifestyle. Well, imagine if we applied that same type of wisdom to our finances. Imagine if we did that and we said, you know what? I'm going to set aside a few dollars for myself. I'm going to set aside a few dollars for investing and set a few side dollars for my education because I need to renew my mind so that I can now adopt the mind of an entrepreneur, adopt the mind of a financially, intelligent individual.
Yes.
We are taught about money. We're not taught about finance. Isn't that interesting? We're taught about money, but we're not taught about finance. Financial education is not something that's taught in schools. We're taught how to count, but we're not
Yeah.
taught what to do.
The with it when we
So,
count it.
yeah.
Yes.
So that would be my tip for our listening audience today. Application. I'm sorry. Information without application leads to your dislocation, which ultimately leads to your annihilation. And
Yes.
application is the evidence of learning. If you apply it, you will be successful. And we're excited. We look forward to working
Yes.
with you. We look forward to partnering with you. But more importantly, even if this is the only time you engage with the Magnet Exchange, please know, do your own research, do your own due diligence. And if I wanted to use one more scripture to support my sister, is that study to show thyself approved, not what other people are saying, not what we're saying. Study to show yourself approved. Because at the end of the day, I think for most of us, we all want to hear one final statement. Well done, thy good and
Good
faithful
and faithful
servant.
servant. Absolutely. No doubt. I'm here to tell you that there was a book that I've written called Are You Ready to Wash Feet? Are You Really Ready to
Mm,
Wash Feet? And it's a book
absolutely.
on servant leadership, being a
Yes.
servant shepherd, being a
Yes.
servant leader, being a leader in general, and having that heart to serve. And truly, this man of God has that heart. He has taken time out on his funds ambassadorship, and he is training 1 o'clock every day. I needed to get your Zoom information. I will put that on all of our platforms so that you can join in to get more information about our funds uh, ambassadorship, and look at the platform and assess again, like he said, does it make sense? Does it make sense to you?
Hmm.
And are you in a position to take advantage of what you've been presented? And that's for everything that we do in the Magnet Exchange Group. As we share knowledge, as we share wisdom, as we share information, those are the three questions that we ask you to do before you make your decision to establish your wealth preservation and wealth development platform. With that being said, thank you so much, King DB, for joining me
My
today.
pleasure.
We're
My
going to
pleasure.
have another one of our kings on tomorrow. After we finished our kings, we are going to do a kings panel. That came in my
Ooh,
spirit, where I'm going to
all
have all the
right.
kings that you have heard and going to be hearing. I'm going to bring them in. I'm probably going to work it out on Zoom through this platform, uh, Restream,
Restream. Hmm.
and this way on a Zoom platform we can have some engagement. But I just want you to hear these kings collectively together. It's going to be nothing short of amazing, and
Looking
you are
forward
going
to
to
it.
be truly convinced that they have the sauce for your ribs. With that being
Mm-mm-mm.
said, thank you for joining me on Business
I am
Strategies and
hungry,
Tips with
girl.
Lady L. I know that's right. Trust me, when we come off of this line, it's lunchtime, okay?
Oh yeah.
Thank you
Oh
all for
yeah.
joining me today on Business Strategies
Thank
and Tips with
you.
Lady L. I am your host, Lady L. Don't forget to go on my YouTube channel. Some are on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. Lady Verne, LadyVerne. My website is successbeyondstrategies with a Z.com. If you are thinking about starting a business, just starting a business, you're in that 3 to 5 year, that 5 to 10 year, that 15 to 20 year, and you need a refreshing, go to my website, successbeyondstrategies.com, fill in the information, and let's have that consultation to make sure that you're getting ready to move into your next dimension with the right tools and the right resources to help you along your way. So thank you again for joining me today, and have a wonderful, awesome day.
Great day.
Thankful Thursday.
Oh yeah.